Hello, my name is Jimmy Mitchell, and that's my name sign. And why am I here today? Well, I'm going to be talking a little bit about tobacco. Here's a couple different signs for that. And I'm going to expand on a few points. Why people smoke tobacco, resources that we have to help people, and why people start using tobacco. And also, how companies use advertisements to convince people to begin smoking. So, let's first focus on what are some reasons that people want to start smoking. Well, I mean, life can be crazy. You can have an insane amount of stressors. You may just want to strangle your kids. Another one is peer pressure. Your friend could just be nagging you to start smoking, and you finally can't take them anymore. And so you just go ahead. And there's a variety of other reasons. Everyone has their individual reason why. So, how does tobacco work? Well, many people who are using tobacco, they want to stop, but how? I mean, they can't quit. And the reason why is because it's an addiction. They want to quit, but they're hooked on it. They're hooked on tobacco. And so that makes it not that easy to leave the addiction. So they have nicotine in the cigarettes, which is the addictive chemical. You breathe that in, it makes a connection in your brain, and that connection causes your brain to let go of another chemical called dopamine. It replaces dopamine in your brain. Dopamine is responsible for making you feel good, for giving you laughter, things like that. So when you let go of that chemical and replace it with nicotine, that's what causes the addiction. So does tobacco really only have one chemical, nicotine? No, they have hundreds. It's crazy how many they have in there. They have rat poison. They have battery acid in cigarettes, like the corrosive chemical. Where I mean, if you saw that on a regular battery and you tried a bite of it, you would die. So that's what they have in there. They also have rat feces because in these big factories where everybody's doing all these different jobs, they're on a conveyor belt, an assembly line. I mean, there's rodents that live in these factories and they will obviously poop where they please. And so you can't really figure out where the rodents are pooping and peeing and things like that. And I mean, doesn't that make you think twice about trying tobacco or cigarettes? So the most popular is cigarettes, and that's usually what people in the city choose to intake their tobacco. But we also have chew available, and that's typical for people who live in the country, like cowboys, things like that. That's what they usually use. But is it exclusive to those two groups? No, no. You could be in the city and use chew, or vice versa. You can use both as well. And in some places where you aren't allowed to have chew or cigarettes, you can shove tobacco in between your toes. And that will give you the same chemical reaction as if you were smoking. They also have different types of candy and gum that you can use to get your nicotine fix. They also have different like patches and pouches that you can use. So they have a variety of different ways you can get nicotine. So, how do different companies convince people to start smoking? Well, today you don't see anybody on TV or in commercials advertising tobacco, whereas before you used to. And today they don't have these types of advertisement because the government saw how they were using funny cartoons like Joe the Camel and using that to advertise towards like kids. And he would be in these really cool poses and all those things, and people would want to be like him, and that's how they would get young people to start smoking. The companies would say it's for adults, it's not for kids, but obviously they were lying.